This is a new insight into how trees operate. I am the tree whisperer. I work with the inside of the tree, the internal functionality of the tree. I don't work on the outside of the tree. That's conventional work. I don't want to do that work. I don't want to prune trees. I don't want to do any of that work. Spray trees. I don't want anything like that. I want to help the tree heal from the internal functionality. I want their parts, systems, and functions back working again. Conventional work doesn't pay any attention to the inside of the tree. I do, as I work with the inside of the tree to find out what's not operating inside of the tree. I work with the spirit of the tree. The tree is a spirit. I work with that spirit. I work with the intelligence of the tree. I work with the consciousness of the tree, and I work with the blueprint of the tree. So, I help the tree determine a plan. This step first, this step second, this step third, this step fourth. Working in cooperation or collaboration with that spirit of the tree to help the physical tree move from being a sick tree to being a healthy tree. That's what I do. I am just the go-between to help the tree. Why can't they do it themselves? Because the sick physical tree is so confused it can't even connect with its own spirit. So what I am is the go-between to help it make that connection with spirit. All right. So we help the tree form a plan. You do this step, this step, this step, this step. Then what can happen is the tree will implement the plan, but it will only implement the plan if it can see the result it wants. If it can't see the result it wants, it won't implement the plan. This revelation helps to understand how a tree works on the inside and where its intelligence is and where its spirit is and where its consciousness is guiding those parts, systems, and functions to work. If they don't see a plan that's going to help them reach their goal to be a healthy tree, they are not going to implement the plan. It's that simple. And the other point is they can't just instantly do a plan by themselves because the physical tree is disconnected from its spirit because it's so sick. Guess what? This happens with people too. Okay? This happens with sick people too. They get so disconnected, they forget, they just can't pull it all together. That's the same way with the tree. Okay? So what we do is get them back, help them collaborate. Our consciousness helps those two collaborate again so this sick tree, physical tree, can see what's not operating right and how step by step that can be repaired. Once the physical tree sees that, it'll implement it. As long as it brings them to the end point they want. They have to be able to see that. There's enough intelligence in the consciousness of that tree to guide those parts, systems, and functions to do that as long as that consciousness can see that there's an end point that'll bring it what it wants, which is to have a healthy tree, because it's the consciousness that's driving those parts, systems, and functions. The consciousness is saying, look, I want to be a big oak, or I want to be a big apple tree, or whatever it is. In the case of an oak tree, I want to be a big oak. I want to leaf out. I want to grow. That's what the consciousness is saying. So the consciousness has to see that this plan is going to help them get there. Otherwise, it's not going to implement that plan. And on the opposite end, it won't implement the plan, and we see that in many trees. We see trees all over the place that are sick. We see it, okay? And the trouble is they're disconnected from their spirit. They're disconnected from their intelligence. That consciousness and the blueprint aren't working together, okay? Nothing's working, so the tree is just kind of living on. It's sick, but it's just living on. So let me give you an example. So the tree, part of it might be has to break down food faster to drive more circulation inside of the tree. The tree will not break down more food faster unless it knows that at the end of all those steps, it can replenish that food supply. If it doesn't believe it can replenish that food, it's not going to do it, because I, being the tree, says if I use up my food supplies and I can't replenish it, then I'm a goner. So the tree has to see, I, the tree, have to see that I can replenish my food supply. Then I will follow the plan, and I have to see that the plan has a really strong possibility of working. Then I will do it. And that's how the trees work. They want to see a plan. The consciousness of the tree wants to see a plan, and it wants to be in collaboration with the blueprint, because the blueprint kind of says, guide it, and the conscious blueprint kind of guide the parts, systems, and functions, and that's what's important here. But it must see the plan and see the end point of the plan, that it achieves what they want before the tree will implement that plan.
So it sounds like the tree is making decisions and making executive choices about which avenue it's going to take.
It has to see the possibility. Don't forget, the tree is confused. Okay, the physical tree is confused. I've helped connect it with spirit so it can see what the plan, so it can see the possible plan. It has to believe that that plan will help its physicality heal and become healthy again, because it's not going to use up its resources. Remember, it's a sick tree. It's not going to use up. It can say, well, I can stay like this for a long time. And we see it all the time. We see sick trees that just hang on and hang on and hang on. Well, because they can't turn themselves around, okay? And they can't connect with their spirit anymore to get healthy again, to have a plan to get healthy again. So once we can connect them, collaborate with them, and connect with their spirit, so that their consciousness and their blueprint and all their part systems and functions are connected and guided. The part systems are guided by the consciousness and blueprint to come into entrainment and sync and entrainment. Then the tree will say, okay, if I can do this, if I see that possibility, I will do this. And that's what this is all about.
So when you say spirit, you also mean a bunch of other words. You say spirit, you also mean
the life force of the tree.
Intelligence.
Well, you say spirit. I kind of think that I hold them all to be separate. Okay, I hold spirit of the tree as more like the life force in the tree, and then yes, in there is either part of that or connected to it. I don't know, and frankly, don't get hung up with all the details. But part of that is the intelligence of the tree. Now, I consider the consciousness of the tree more the intelligence. I call that the intelligence. That's the guiding light. The consciousness is the guiding light. So that, to me, is more the intelligence. The spirit is more the life force in the tree. And then you got the blueprint is, I want to be an oak tree, I want to be an apple tree, I want to be a maple tree. That's what I'm talking about.